Unlock your true purpose, a Stoic guide to finding your calling. In a quiet coastal village nestled between towering cliffs and the endless expanse of the sea, lived a humble fisherman named Lucius. For years, he followed the same routine, rising with the sun, casting his nets into the deep, and returning home with the day's catch. His life was simple but often filled with an undercurrent of discontent. Though his nets were full, his heart was not. Something deep within him yearned for more. Something beyond the waves he had known his entire life. One night during a particularly fierce storm, Lucius found himself far from shore. The waves crashed violently, and his small boat rocked perilously. Clutching the helm, Lucius prayed for survival. In the eye of the storm, he heard a quiet but firm voice inside. "Why do you fear what is beyond your control? Focus only on your steering." Those words, though brief, awakened something in him. As the storm subsided and he found his way back to shore, Lucius realized that this voice of calm in the storm mirrored the teachings of a philosophy he'd once heard in his youth, Stoicism. He remembered the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. He remembered the idea that life is not about controlling external forces, but mastering one's inner world. That night, Lucius began a journey that would change his life forever. He sought out ancient Stoic texts, reading by the dim light of a lantern. He learned that purpose is not something handed down by fate, but something discovered through reason, resilience, and a commitment to living virtuously. The Stoics taught that one's purpose is found not in external success, but in internal alignment with nature and the cultivation of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Lesson 1. Master what you can control. As Lucius delved deeper into Stoicism, he encountered the first principle: control what you can and accept what you cannot. He realized his frustration with fishing stemmed not from the act itself, but from his attachment to outcomes, the size of his catch, the weather, the opinions of others. He decided to release these burdens and instead focus on mastering his craft with precision and care. This shift transformed his experience. He found joy in the process, in the rhythmic casting of his nets, in the salt air on his skin, and in the lessons the sea taught him each day. He saw fishing not as a mundane task, but as a metaphor for life. Sometimes the sea is generous, and sometimes it is barren, but his duty is simply to cast his nets with diligence and integrity. Lesson 2. Discover purpose through service. Lucius realized that true purpose comes from serving others. He began sharing his excess catch with villagers in need, offering advice to younger fishermen, and teaching children the lessons he'd learned from the sea and Stoicism. His calling was no longer just about fishing, it was about contributing to the well-being of his community. In doing so, Lucius discovered the joy of eudaimonia, the Stoic concept of flourishing through living in accordance with virtue. He found that by helping others, he fulfilled a deeper purpose that transcended personal gain. Lesson 3. Embrace adversity as a teacher. One particularly harsh winter, the sea became treacherous and many boats were lost. The village faced a food shortage and despair hung in the air. Lucius, however, remembered the Stoic teaching that adversity reveals character. Instead of succumbing to fear, he rallied the villagers, leading them to devise new ways to survive. Gathering wild herbs, preserving food, and supporting one another through hard times. In this, Lucius found that adversity was not something to be avoided but embraced. It sharpened his resolve, deepened his empathy, and strengthened his leadership. Through suffering, he became more attuned to his true purpose, not just to fish, but to guide and inspire others through life's storms. Lesson 4. Reflect daily to stay aligned. Every evening, Lucius practiced a Stoic exercise called premeditatio malorum, reflecting on potential hardships and preparing his mind for them. He also engaged in journaling, noting his triumphs and failures, and contemplating how he could improve. This daily reflection helped him stay grounded and aligned with his purpose, ensuring he remained true to his values even in the face of success or failure. Over time, Lucius became a pillar of wisdom in the village. His once ordinary life as a fisherman had transformed into an extraordinary journey of purpose, grounded in Stoic principles. He had unlocked his true calling, not by seeking something external, but by cultivating inner virtue and serving those around him. Your Stoic journey. Like Lucius, we all have moments when we feel adrift, unsure of our purpose. The Stoic path reminds us that purpose is not a destination, but a process. It begins by mastering what we can control, serving others with integrity, embracing adversity, and reflecting daily on our actions. In a world filled with distractions and fleeting pleasures, Stoicism offers a timeless guide to discovering your calling. By living with courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance, you too can unlock your true purpose and navigate life's storms with grace and resilience.